So here are 5 tips to help you get a raise and get promoted. Welcome back, everybody. So today, as you can tell by the title and the intro, we are going to be talking about 5 different tips that I have to help you get a raise or to help you get promoted. These are things that I have personally done, so I know that they work. Remember, everybody's path, especially in the corporate world, is not a straight shot. I know in movies it makes it look super exciting. You know, the young girl moves to New York and she has this giant loft and she becomes the CFO after 2. No, that's typically not how it works. It's a lot of hard work. But it's worth it if that's what you want to do. I'm currently a director of marketing at a company, and I love it. Next step, of course, would be CMO and then to own my own company. But these are just some tips and tricks that I do and I have done to get me from a grad to a marketing coordinator, to a marketing manager, to a director, just kind of climbing the ladder, and what's worked for me. So the first one that I'm going to suggest, and is the most helpful point, I think, is to track all of your projects. This is vital because this is what will give you your argument when you're going into, well, not your argument, your case, when you're going in to ask for a raise or to ask for a promotion. Track everything that you've done in a positive light, of course. What records have you broken? How much money have you saved? For me at my job, we have an annual conference. And when I first started at this company, I was kind of thrown into it. But now it is my baby. I have done, last year was a record number of attendees, record number of sponsors, record number of profit. It was an amazing year. So things like that I keep in my portfolio because it's an amazing project that I did and I excelled at it and I saved a bunch of money and I made a bunch of money. So if I go to my company and I'm like, hey, I want a raise of ABC, this is why I earn it. I saved this much, I did this, I brought in this much profit. It helps you with an actual case. You can't go in there and saying, oh, I feel like I deserve a raise. Why? Businesses are numbers. What are you doing that deserves a raise? And that is why project tracking is huge. Anything that you can do that tracks the amount of money, any records you broke, anything that you did to help them is a great case point to earn more money. My second point of advice is to research market value of your job. There's sites like Glassdoor where you can enter like years of experience, what your title is and where you are, just to give you a better understanding of where you should be. Family-owned companies tend to be a lot less, and jobs in the city seem to be a lot more. So like I'm in the GTA, Toronto. Well, I'm in the suburbs, I'm not directly downtown, but any jobs that I look at that are directly downtown in this city are higher paying. I just avoid it. It's too difficult with my circumstances right now, being a single mom and I'm nowhere near the city. So for travel, I like to be closer to my son's school. But that is something to look at when you're looking for a position. The market value will also tell you, generally what the job is paid. So you know what the gap is, you know what you're looking for, you know what you're going for. So for me, for example, I'm paid below market value. However, I got my job very, very young. I got a director position at 28. That's not very common. Typically you're in your late 30s, 40s for such an executive position. So I know that because of my experience, it is this much. However, part of my project tracking will get me there and above. So make sure you look at market research. Another thing that I do all the time, sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. Another thing that I do all the time is research jobs that I want. I'm not looking to change jobs anytime soon unless YouTube takes off, woo! But no, I'm not looking to change my corporate job anytime soon. But what I do is I look for VP and CMO, Chief Marketing Officer positions, because I want to see what they're asking for. I want to see the qualifications, the skills, and the experience that they want so that I can make sure I build those on my own and get there. So a lot of times if I see an amazing job, I will go down and I'll screenshot kind of what skills that they're looking for and see what's missing from my own skill set so that I can kind of add those on so that when I'm ready to look for a new position, I have the skills required to get that position. The fourth tip here would be to keep all your positive reviews. If you do something good, a lot of times an owner or a boss or somebody in management will send you an email saying, great job, you did really good on this, blah, blah, blah. I always forward those specific emails to my personal email, again, just to keep as a portfolio for your next job, just to keep for records, just to show that, management or higher ups did actually take a liking to you. They did notice your effort. You do good work. Again, it's just part of the portfolio building. and it just helps you keep your records. Task number 5, or advice number 5, tip number 5, spend time upgrading your skills. I know I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but spend your personal time developing, taking courses. A lot of companies offer compensation for educational programs, like they'll pay you for it if it's for your career. Look into that, and if they do, take it. Why not? If they're paying for your tuition or they're paying for your course, it's an awesome thing to do. But even if they don't, there's so many different things like lynda.com or different Google courses that are free or not that expensive, but the certificates or the courses will help you with your skills. For me, an amazing example of that is graphic design. I have a honors Bachelor of Commerce degree with a specialization in marketing. I do not have an official graphic design background. But when you're in the marketing field, it's kind of inevitable. You need to know how to do a certain level of graphic design. So I took a lot of courses online. I watched tons of YouTube. I took a course at Seneca and a course at Humber, much cheaper than an actual degree, probably a few $100s in total, and then a lot of practice. But last company I worked for, I took on the graphic design. They were hiring somebody to do it. I took it on. That saved about at least $30,000 plus per year. Again, something great to add to your portfolio, but then it also gave me a portfolio. Anything major project that I did, I kept it as my own because I created it. So you can use it as your portfolio, as samples of work that you've done moving forward. But that's something that's an amazing skill that I kind of learned on my own personal time, to just look ahead at what you want to be and see the steps that you need to get there. Always track everything and make appointments. Not all companies set yearly reviews. If yours doesn't, make a point to message them and say, hey, I need to review, and then have your entire case ready. Look, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is the work that I've done. This is what I've done for you. And then from there, you can make other decisions. You know, they might say, yes, we agree. Here you go, sign your raise. Or they might say, you know, we think we pay you too much, or whatever the case is. Okay, now you know what to do next. If you know that you've capped out at this company, maybe you need to stay there for a few more years for the experience, or maybe you can say, okay, this is the final leg. I asked, I tried, I presented my case, and they still said no. Okay, let me make sure my resume is up to date and start applying to jobs that I want. Always make sure that you get a new job before you quit your other one, unless of course you're loaded, then it doesn't matter. But I hope these 5 bits of advice help you. They've helped me along the way to becoming a director. I'm always moving forward. Next goal is CMO and then owning a company. So I am doing this right now. I'm tracking all my projects. I'm tracking the money I save and the money I give or earn, for the current company. So that will be my case. If you have any other tips, make sure to mention them below. See you guys next time.